Boxing King Media in association with Boxro, Savage Dan, Spencer Oliver. We're here in Manchester, big fight weekend, pay-per-view, Joyce, Parker. You guys on the wrong channel?
Is he talking quiet? Is that a nervous talk?
That's a nervous talk.
That's a nervous talk,
Why
isn't
so
it?
quiet? What's
Why are you
happened?
going? What's happened?
No reason, mate, no reason.
Man up. Man up, come on, what's happened?
Nothing, mate. Let's talk about the big fight. So, pay-per-view, first of all, let's talk about the pay-per-view subject. Is this a pay-per-view fight?
I think that's how it has to be a pay-per-view fight because this is how these guys get paid now. Like you got the WBO number 1 versus WBO number 2 in a WBO interim world title fight. These guys have to get well paid, and that's the only way they do that is by putting them in these box office fights. So I suppose the answer to your question is it has to be a box office fight to get this sort of fight of this sort of magnitude over the line. Look, one thing we can guarantee, Joe Joyce, Joe Parker equals fireworks. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. It really is, because at some point Joyce is going to draw him in to a slugfest. Parker's going to have to do that. He recognises that anyway. I think it's a good fight, man. So pay-per-view, would you pay for it?
Do you agree?
No. I look, I can see a case for it.
No,
of
that's
course
what I'm saying. I understand the case.
But
I understand
do you know
the
what?
case.
It's weird because then when you look at the fact that Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall isn't,
Yeah.
and you look at some fights that are not pay-per-view, and then you look at, if this was a free-to-air fight, everyone would be like, that's a great fight.
I agree.
But then obviously, if as soon as it becomes pay-per-view, it's open to criticism, innit? And everyone's going to have their opinions on it. Regardless of whether it's pay-per-view or not, it's a good fight.
Yeah,
it's a great fight.
agree.
It's a top fight. It's just whether you can get the masses and the people to buy into that, and whether you can sell it well enough. That's the major thing. It's a good enough fight to be on pay-per-view, but can you convince everyone walking down the road that this is a fight they have to watch?
Do you know how it works though with these sort of fights? Because everyone goes, fucking joke, there shouldn't be no pay-per-view, and they've got a case for that.
Yeah.
They've got a case for that, but when you're sitting there and you go Saturday night, you go, it's 8 o'clock, wonder how that fight's going. Wonder how that fight, let me have a look on Twitter, let me have a look at it. I'll fucking download the fight. That's generally what happens. If you're a boxing fan, and there's a lot of them out there now, there's a lot of boxing fans out there now. That's it. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like putting a pint on the table opposite an alcoholic and he's looking there going, what's that time? Do you know what I'm saying though, don't you?
I've been there.
Yeah, exactly. So look, I think the fight will probably do good numbers, and I know that a lot of people are annoyed about it being a pay-per-view, but that shouldn't overshadow what a good fight this is, by the way, because you put these guys that are really in strong positions, didn't have to take this fight. You got to respect them both because, Usyk's out with injury, Joshua's now fighting Fury, December, yeah, I think so. I'm quite strong about that. I'm gonna go sort of like.
Yeah. You're gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna challenge it. I think the first space where it can fall apart it does.
Yeah, but what is that space?
I don't know.
There ain't one.
We'll know when we get to. Wait, we've seen this fight almost made so many times.
Yeah, this is different. I'll tell you why it's different. Because
no
just because Joshua hasn't got the bargaining tools that he had. So what I'm saying is the contract has been presented.
Yeah.
It's a 60-40 split. If Joshua wins, it's a 50-50 return.
Yeah.
You can't ask for fairer than that.
That part is fine. I think you can get the teams to agree. Can you get the broadcasters?
Well, listen, this is. I think you will be able to do that. I think because BT and DAZN, I think they will, collab on that one.
Do you reckon BT will buy the rights off the zone for that one fight?
Well, listen, that's one of the things that may be holding everything up. I don't know about the TV side of things, but I think both fighters putting pen to paper, it's a done deal. So I just think that that might be the only stumbling block at the moment is the different TV networks. But I think that can be resolved because I think when you get fights of that magnitude, look, out of nowhere, man. I think if Joshua would have even won that fight against Usyk, we may not have seen that for a while. I don't know because it would have been he'd have had more bargaining tools. So I think out of nowhere he's been gifted this, and knowing Joshua, he's like, mate, give me the fight.
Yeah.
His confidence is not damaged. Let's get it on.
What are you thinking, Dan?
Yeah, no, look, if you're Joshua, you know how it goes. You lose 2 on the trot, you lose your world titles. Sometimes you have to fight 4 or 5 times to even get back in range for a world title shot. When you get the number 1 heavyweight giving you a voluntary defence, and you think you can beat him off the back of 2 losses, mate, you snap the hand off. You do. You just snap the hand off, because this. I personally think if it doesn't happen now, it doesn't happen at all. I think we're here.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I think Joshua Fury, if that don't happen now, it's done.
Yeah.
Dead and buried in the water, because Fury will go and fight Alexander Usyk, and if he beats Usyk, I think he retires. Even if he loses to Usyk, they maybe do the rematch. What I'm saying is a million miles away, the fight with Joshua. So, you know, and you've got lots of young guns coming through that are dangerous, man. Like, you know what I mean? So Joshua was in dangerous territory, and he's been gifted this opportunity. So from his side, it's done deal.
Let's get back to this one. So obviously the weights have been made. Parker's coming at a career highest weight. From either of your guys' experience, is that going to work for him or against him?
I think it's going to work for both of them, because I think, what was it, Parker coming 5 pounds over his last fight. He weighed 5 pounds heavier, and Joe Joyce also coming 6 pounds heavier from his last fight. So I think that it's only muscle mass. There's no fat on both of the guys. They look big, they look strong, and they know they're going into a war. Hence why they may have put that muscle bulk on, you know, because they're going to need to get in the trenches at some point. You know, like Parker, we know he's going to start on the back foot. Obvious. Joe Joyce does nothing but march forward, strong as an ox, takes too many shots whilst doing that. But at some point, they're going to have to lock horns. 12 rounds, baby. That's what happened. So I think that's why they both put on the weight.
Yeah.
Break it down.
Do you know what? I think Parker won't have much difficulty banking early rounds.
No.
Do you know what? I think look, it's a mental fight for Parker. I don't think you can try and hurt Joyce. If you go in with the mentality that you're trying to hurt Joyce, and then you don't hurt him, you end up breaking your own heart. And I think you just got to take it round by round.
That's interesting.
You just win the round, chalk it off, and you go again. Next round, and that's how you got to do it, because the onslaught will come.
Come in, Ben.
Are you coming in?
No, but I'm just saying. I think
You've got space for one more. Get in,
I think he can knock him out. I think he can knock him out. I'm not in the.
I would genuinely say I think the edge in power might actually be with Parker, but it doesn't really matter, because it's probably combated by the chin of Joyce. Joyce grinds you down.
See, the thing that Joyce, and this is a thing that everyone seems to be actually missing, you know, that, yeah, Joyce has got a great chin. Look at him against Christian Hammer last summer, and Hammer was hitting him. Hammer was not even a fringe contender, but he was hitting him flush in the face, and you're looking going, how's Joyce taking these? What I'm saying is now...
Didn't even get wobbled.
Yeah, it didn't even get wobbles. What I'm saying is now, and this is a thing that a lot of people have not thought about, right, is Parker is an elite level heavyweight, right? And forgetting people go, well, he's not really a big puncher. Actually, he is, but he boxes at elite level, so these people do take the shots, but he can whack, mate. So I think it's all about, it's a coming of age fight, really, for Joe Joyce, because no one knows, like, Parker's established, he's proven. He's shown that character of getting off the floor against Dillian White, second round. Ninth round, he's down again, but then comes back and puts Dillian on the back foot and nearly knocks Dillian out. What I'm saying is, he's got character. He's proven. Joe Joyce has boxed at what level? Do you know what I'm saying? No disrespect.
The bar's the one that you look at, but the
It
bar...
wasn't easy, didn't he, against Dubois?
Well, it weren't easy, but the thing is, the bar style kind of lends itself to Joyce, because he's coming to you. So you just keep that semi-automatic jab, and it will find us, and that's what happened.
I like semi-automatic.
But if you're trying to find some, and Joyce punches he probably he throws the most shots of all heavyweights. I think he's got the highest punch count of all heavyweights, but that's because they're always right there. We'll probably see the lowest punch count in Joyce's career, because Parker won't be there. You know, I expect Parker to get his shots off and then get out of range, or spin off, or whatever it is. I think the early part of this fight will lend itself to Parker. It's just, you know, the onslaught's coming, the juggernaut's coming. Can you dig your heels in and deal with it when it does happen? Yeah, that's the question. It's 50-50.
Last one for both of you. I'm going to give you both 10 seconds each. Predict the fight. 10 seconds for you, Spencer.
I think it's going to be a fight of two halves, where I think that Joe Joyce is pushing forward all the time. Joseph Parker's picking up the points early rounds, and he builds up a big lead. Joyce comes back in the last quarter of the fight, but isn't enough, and I think Joseph Parker runs out a close points winner.
Dan?
I think something very similar to Spence. I think he banks the early rounds. I think Joyce comes on. I think Joyce will have some success. At some point, you're going to have to get in the trenches, but I expect a split decision, Joseph Parker.
And there's definitely no Sky boxer bias there. Thank you.
No, listen, that's
There
been the
is.
comments the whole way. It is from him, but yeah.
No. I'll be honest. I actually can see a case for both of them, but I can see a clearer case because of the styles for Parker. As long as he's fit,
Which means we get it again.
yeah.
We get it
And
again.
anyway,
Rematch clause.
Higgins has already talked about potential officiating and all of that. Who knows what this looks like?
Let's see what happens. Thank you for your time, guys.
By the way, you said that ain't going to be a 20-minute interview.
Mate,
I want
you guys
to check
talk-
the
you
clock
guys
on that,
talk
mate.
for
I want to see
ages.
the check. Did you see that? That's it, right. So thanks for enjoying us on this social media channel because unfortunately, thanks so much, Boxing Kings. Unfortunately, it's all done.
Thank you.